Hey, this is Hunter here on the Another Angle podcast. I'm here with Mena. We're going to be chatting all things right angles and weight loss. You can stream this podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. Right, well, it's amazing to have you on, Mena. If you can give our lovely viewers a little bit of a breakdown on what brings you to Right Angled and, you know, what we're going to be chatting about on the podcast.
Alrighty, so my name is Mena.
Yeah.
I'm on Mounjaro with Rightangled. When it comes to my weight loss journey, it started, I think, for different reasons. Before I got to Rightangled, I was very overweight. I think growing up, I was actually very skinny, funnily enough.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get some pictures from back in the days.
You'll be very that'd shocked. Be great. Yeah, definitely.
You'll be very shocked. So I was super skinny, and I think I had a very fantastic metabolism. Mm-hmm. If it wants to come back, this is the call to action. Come back, please, because I'm trying to lose some weight. But in terms of what changed, 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition, which affected my thyroid. And I think this is such a it's such a condition that really is thrown out there every time that someone sort of gains weight. So I don't even want to use it as an excuse because I feel like for the longest time, you know, if I was bigger and someone would call it out, I would be like, well, I have a thyroid issue.
Thyroid.
You know, if I'm tired and someone would be like, why are you always tired? Well, do you have a thyroid issue? That was my sort of go-to.
So it was an easy thing to kind of lean 100%. On to have a reason, right?
That was my solution to every problem. And I think eventually it got to the point where I realized that I was playing a big part into sort of that weight gain. I took food as a crutch. So I would go to food for sort of any sort of issue that would come, that life would throw at me. I think especially when I was in university, in my first year of uni, I was living with my aunt at the time. And within 2 months, she passed away in my living room.
Wow.
And the only thing that gave me any sort of relief was food.
So that emotional cushion really just helped you through
100%.
That time.
So fast forward to before I started Mounjaro, I had gained, I think, 40, 50 kilos. And I was at 112.2 kilos. And the thing about it is that no one believed me because I'm actually quite tall. I'm 178 centimeters. Mm-hmm. But I think God blessed me with good fat distribution. So I was getting fat in the right places. Out. Yeah, it's curved. Oh no, you're just thick. You're just thick. No, I'm clinically obese. I'm clinically obese. And with the condition of the thyroid condition, et cetera, you know, being healthy is really important. You know, you can have heart complication. You can have a lot of issues that arise from sort of not being healthy and not doing the best you can to make sure that your body works correctly. So I tried the gym. I tried not eating, but honestly, the first time that I've ever seen any sort of progress in the past years has been when I started with Mounjaro in November. Because to me, what Mounjaro does, it just basically takes away the what's the word? Not the free will. That's not what I was going to
say. It seems like it's from other people I've had conversations with, it's a lot of that overwhelming willpower that people feel the need to be.
Willpower, that's the word I'm looking for.
They need to be eating.
It basically, With Mounjaro, you don't need to have willpower because you're just not hungry.
Or just it completely suppresses your appetite.
Exactly.
Right?
So it's the opposite for me. So I've gone from I cannot survive without food to, oh my gosh, did I eat today? Which was really shocking to me. But unfortunately for me, after 2 months of using it, I had to interrupt it.
Okay, so why was that?
I got food poisoning.
Right.
Can I just use this moment? Make sure that when you cook your meat, it's fully cooked all the way through.
Fully cooked, sorry.
Whether you order it online, whether you cook it at home and you're hungry, just make sure it's cooked. So yes, I had food poisoning. It was really, really bad. I was in the hospital. Had to take fluids and it was a whole process.
Right. So did you find did that somewhat restart your whole process? Like, did you lose or gain weight? Obviously, that like being out of action for a number of weeks with food poisoning.
And I am
of all
about to go
things.
back, and I'm gonna go back to 2.5. So at the point of me getting the food poisoning, I was taking 5 mg. After I recovered from the food poisoning, I tried to take another shot of 5 mg, but the stomach pain that I had the next day,
just not worth it.
1 minute of silence.
You can skip through this.
You know that sound? They ask you if you're fine. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Focus. Yeah, so where was I? Yes, so I had a really bad stomach ache, and therefore that informed my decision to sort of talk to the relevant people at Rightangled and make the decision to go back to 2.5, which actually, if I have to say, 2.5 was much better for me in terms of results when it came to the weight loss.
So you felt that your response rate really sat in that kind of dosage range?
Yes. So within the first 2 months, I lost over 15 kilos.
Wow.
Most of that came from 2.5 mg. 5 mg was just pain, to be honest. I've had a lot of side effects on 5 mg.
I mean, at least you're aware enough to acknowledge that. Like, I feel like some people would probably move up the doses and just assume that it's
Yes, I've seen that on TikTok.
Deal with it. Yeah.
But the thing about it is, I think it's really important for you to do your research and be very careful of what you put into your body, especially when I've had, thyroid issues. They give you so many medicines to take, and I feel like they don't realize. I mean, people that take medications need to listen to their body. Your body and your feeling and your gut feeling can tell you more than, any doctor can. So
I agree. Definitely. Yep. Okay, so obviously you've been on your journey now. Obviously you've had it derailed, part way through. It's so obviously you're back on track now. So we've touched on side effects. I guess just kind of looking down the line. So what's the goal? Like, where do you want to be lifestyle wise down the line? Like, do you think you're seeing yourself hitting that target in 3, 6, 12 months, or what's your plan for the future?
So when I looked at sort of the healthy weight, I would have to basically lose 39 kilos in total.
Okay.
That would put me just like between healthy weight and slightly overweight, but at the end of the day, I still am of African descent, so we do need some meat on these bones, personally.
Fair. Yeah.
Personal preference. But when it comes to sort of time frame, I don't have that. I don't want time to dictate anything, nor do I want to set goals in terms of goal dates, because I don't want this to be a weight loss journey, but I want this to be me learning good habits when it comes to food.
Well, it's a lifestyle overhaul, right? And like, I feel like if you were to put those measures in place where you're like, I need to be X weight by X date, and let's say, complications happen, maybe you're not reacting to the medication as well as you want to, and you fall short, that's probably going to be quite detrimental. Just to like your confidence and just how you're feeling with that process. Yes,
and I think as someone who really did use food as a crutch, any sort of negative emotions pushes my mind to crave food. So I don't want to set sort of weekly targets, monthly targets. I do love data, so I do track
your calories.
I do have an Excel sheet at home that has formulas in for like every single sort of measures of my body.
Wow. Okay.
So on a week-to-week basis, so I can see that when, because weight fluctuates a lot.
Yeah.
So when it does fluctuate, I can understand what part of my body actually had that impact.
It sounds like you should be building an app. Like,
I'm thinking of using these resources that I've created for myself and putting them available for Rightangled users, because I think it's literally so useful to have that point of reference. And another thing that really, really helps is taking pictures as you go. And I hated taking pictures when I was bigger. I think I'm proud of standing here today because, wow, like the thing about it is I will be the first person that hates to see that picture, like, and like, because in my mind, I'm still the skinny 14-year-old girl who was living in Italy.
Yeah.
And then I look at this picture of a 20-year-old 100 kg plus person, and I don't recognize her, right? So I like to take these pictures to kind of realize that, oh, I'm coming back to what looks like me in my mind.
I was going to say, it's kind of chipping away on what you feel your body should look like and how you should feel.
100%.
Like,
and body dysmorphia is very real, because at times, if you wear clothes that, you bought when you were bigger, you kind of look in the mirror and you don't realize the progress that you have sort of gone through, or the goals that you've achieved. Obviously, because I don't track goals, so to say, it's harder to envision. But when I take my phone and I look at my gallery, I feel so much better. So when I inject on a weekly basis, I actually do that in front of a ring light, in front of a phone. And I love to see, put the before and after video comparison.
It's amazing though, because obviously you are getting that reference point, and you can feel a sense of pride in knowing that you've made that much progress in the amount of time that you obviously have with the medications. That's phenomenal work, to be fair.
I mean, I think in life, for me, what really drives me is me. No, first of all, is God. Like, everything I do to glorify God. Let me just say that.
Okay.
Secondly, I am my own point of reference. I don't look outside in terms of what other people do to understand where I'm at in life. I look at who I was yesterday and who I am today, and I make sure that who I am today is better than who I was yesterday. And my biggest fear is to get to a tomorrow where I would be. Hold on, let me rephrase. My biggest fear is jumping forward to 1 year and I'm still in the place that I am today. I need to always have growth in sort of every day, whatever it is, I need to grow.
It's really nice that obviously your main competition is yourself, right?
Yes.
I think there's a quote out there. I might be butchering this, but it's the whole comparison is the thief of joy.
100%,
right? So
it is.
Yeah, exactly. You look externally, you're comparing yourself to other people that might be deemed to be more successful, or they're in better shape, or they're your ideal, lifestyle in general, right?
One other thing, people look at others and wish they were them, but they wouldn't be willing to go through what these people went through to get to where they are.
It's always that visible exterior that people are comparing to. It's never the actual journey that they've gone through for potentially years to try and get to that stage.
Exactly. And what shines isn't always diamonds. Sometimes it's a mosquito, and it's the wings sparkling because the light shines.
So are you the mosquito in the situation? What's the comparison here?
Are you calling me a mosquito? Wait.
I'm actually unsure at this point.
Mosquito, really?
You're writing me up.
Anyways, yeah.
Okay.
Warning. Hopefully I'll forget by the end of this interview. Hunter.
Okay, wait. Yeah, you've touched on the fact that born in Italy. So how did you find yourself coming to the UK? I guess if you can kind of give our listeners just a bit of a rundown on what brought you here.
Wow. Yes, so I was born and raised in Italy, in a city called Bergamo. In case anyone knows it, it's next to Milan.
Lost my luggage there once. Not a fan.
But Bergamo is actually really nice, so let's not put
I'm sure it's lovely. Just, I don't trust the airport staff sometimes.
Was it Ryanair?
It was Ryanair. Yeah.
Anyways, I moved to the UK in 2016.
Yeah.
So my dad actually got a job in London, and I feel like I would have been stupid not to take on the opportunity to come to sort of London. I feel like London to Italians is like New York to Londoners. So it's like the land of opportunity. Being black as well in Italy, which is a country that is very sort of firm on traditions and a white man land, it comes with its own sort of challenges that involve access to opportunity. And I quickly realized that in the sort of spaces that I wanted to be in, there wasn't much representation. So to be honest, when I was in Italy, I had never seen till this day, a black policeman, for example.
Wow.
Yeah. So I saw a black policeman for the first time coming to the UK. Therefore, I had realized that I needed to be in a better space if I wanted to make something of myself. And seeing other people just like me, not try hard in life because of the same thoughts as me.
Because it felt like you couldn't make that progress back in Italy.
It made me feel like I really wanted to be an example. And so you can only be a door opener from a place of power. So everything that I do and sort of everything that I try to achieve is because I want to be a door opener and not a gatekeeper. Okay. And so coming to the UK, I thought I spoke English, I didn't.
Okay. Well, it's me thinking I speak Italian as well, right?
Or English.
Or just English in general.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I learned the language. There was no such thing as GCSEs in Italy. So I did my A-levels and GCSEs together. I have a background in human sciences, but then when it came to university, which was not a choice, my dad really blatantly told me that I had no choice but to go to uni. I had realized that I didn't want to do anything like psychology or sociology, just because of career progression, and that market was very saturated at the time. So I literally Googled top career, highest paid career.
It's a good way to do it at 18. Yeah. Yeah.
Marketing manager showed up. So I went to access to higher education, business management, and then got myself into UCL.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So obviously UCL, I guess, formulated your life in London, right? So
I think so. UCL was a big discovery and an eye-opener, because going to UCL was the first time where I saw people like me who are what some people would like to call Black excellence. You know, a lot of the Black community that was in UCL were studying sort of the top courses, medicine, engineering, and had strong backgrounds in terms of educationals, academics. And we're just such bright students, bright people, very talented people, creatives. And I really wanted to take that to the Italians and shout that there is something out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to want something if you don't even know that exists. You can only dream what you believe is possible, in a way. And so, yeah, that's why in 2020, I actually launched my own small venture, which is aimed at helping people develop educationally and professionally and opening those doors to people who lack access to opportunities or don't have access to resources.
that's really inspiring, to be honest. So I guess it sounds like your main goals are really just to open those doors for people back in your communities in Italy and showcase the fact that these goals are attainable. People can try and force themselves into new spaces and achieve, above and beyond, and to, I guess, the sky's the limit.
100%. But the thing about the sky being the limit is how tall is your sky? Because you shouldn't have that limit.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much for coming onto the podcast today. It's been amazing having a little chat out. Yeah, but thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for tuning in. This has been another Angle podcast with myself, Hunter, as your host, alongside Mena. Tune in next week on all streaming platforms across Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube for our next episode.